There are days that change history, moments when an empire seems invincible, and then suddenly collapses under the weight of its own confidence. For Rome, that day came in 216 BC, on a dusty field in southern Italy, near a small village called Cannae. There, the most powerful army in the world faced a foreign force led by a genius of war, Hannibal Barca. It was a clash that turned thousands of men into dust and brought Rome to its knees. A battle so perfect, so ruthless, that it is still studied in military academies as the ultimate masterpiece of tactics. Today, I'll take you into the heart of the Battle of Cannae, the bloodiest defeat Rome ever suffered. A story of courage, error, genius, and blood. 1. The background. Rome versus Hannibal. It's 218 BC. Rome dominates Italy, but its shadow collides with another rising power, Carthage. Two giants of the Mediterranean are fighting for control of sea and land. It's the Second Punic War, and its central figure, Hannibal, is already a living legend. The son of Hannibal Barca, raised in hatred of Rome, Hannibal had sworn as a child to destroy it. And when he crossed the Alps with 50,000 men, 9,000 horses, and 37 war elephants, the entire world held its breath. Rome had never seen anything like it. An army of Africans, Iberians, and Gauls, united only by a commander of terrifying charisma. In the following years, Hannibal struck Rome with devastating blows. At the Trebia River, 218 BC, an ambush in the mud. At Lake Trasimene, 217 BC, an entire legion wiped out in the fog. But Rome did not bow. After two humiliating defeats, it decided to strike back with everything it had. 2. The largest army of the Republic. In 216 BC, Rome assembled a colossal army. Two consuls at the head, Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro. Over 80,000 infantry and 6,000 cavalry. The largest force ever fielded by the Republic. The plan was simple. Find Hannibal, face him in open battle, and crush him through sheer numbers. Hannibal, meanwhile, had barely 50,000 men, but he knew that numbers weren't everything. He knew that the mind could triumph where brute force failed. And when the two armies met on the plains of Cannae in Apulia, destiny was ready to write one of the bloodiest pages in ancient history. 3. Hannibal's formation, the perfect trap. The dawn of August 2nd, 216 BC, rose red, like the blood that was about to be spilled. The southern wind, the hot Vulturnus, blew dust and sand into the Romans' faces. Hannibal arranged his troops in a strange, almost suicidal formation. A crescent line, thin at the center and strong on the flanks. In the front, he placed his weakest soldiers, Celts and Iberians, ready to give way. On the sides, hidden behind them, his elite cavalry and heavily armed African infantry. Rome thought it saw a weak center and walked right into the trap. 4. The Hell of Cannae. When Varro gave the order to attack, the enormous Roman mass advanced like a human wall. 80,000 legionaries pushed forward, crushing the Carthaginian center. It seemed like victory. But Hannibal had planned it all. His center slowly retreated, pretending to collapse. The Romans pressed in tighter and tighter, funneled into a deadly pocket. Then suddenly, the Carthaginian wings closed in. The African infantry attacked from both sides. At the same time, Hannibal's cavalry, led by Hasdrubal, smashed the Roman horsemen, swung around the battlefield, and struck from behind. Rome was surrounded. 80,000 men trapped in a few acres of dust. They couldn't move, couldn't fight. It was slaughter. Ancient sources tell us that 200 men died every minute. The nearby river Aufidus turned red. When the sun set, over 50,000 Romans lay dead or dying on the ground. Among them were dozens of senators, consuls, generals, and patricians. Rome's aristocracy had been wiped out in a single day. If this story is keeping you hooked, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It takes days of research to bring these stories back to life, But for you, it's completely free. That small gesture really helps me bring you more journeys like this one. And tell me in the comments, do you think Rome could have avoided it? Or was it already written in destiny? 5. After Cannae, the silence of Rome. News of the disaster reached Rome like a thunderbolt. The city gates were closed. Women filled the streets, shouting the names of husbands and sons, praying for a miracle. For the first time, Rome feared the end. Hannibal was only weeks away from the city walls, but he didn't attack. Why? Perhaps because he knew Rome never surrenders. As one of his officers, Hannibal, reportedly said, "You know how to win, Hannibal, but not how to use your victory." And he was right. Despite the catastrophe, Rome refused to make peace. It reorganized its armies, recruited new soldiers, even slaves, and swore revenge. 6. The lesson of Cannae. The Battle of Cannae was not just a disaster. It was also a lesson, one that changed the Roman mindset forever. From that day on, Rome understood that strength alone was not enough, that tactical genius, logistics, and discipline mattered more than numbers, and that patience was as powerful a weapon as the sword. In the following years, Rome avoided direct battle with Hannibal, slowly wearing him down until, in 202 BC, it defeated him at Zama in Africa, ending the war. Cannae's defeat became the seed of Rome's victory, a lesson written in blood, one that made Rome stronger than ever. 7. An Immortal Legacy. Today, more than 2,000 years later, Cannae is still a place of silence and wind. Among the fields of Apulia, little remains, only stones, invisible bones, and the memory of a day when the world changed color. But its echo still resounds. Napoleon, Frederick the Great, Rommel, even modern generals studied the Cannae maneuver, that double envelopment still considered the pinnacle of tactical perfection. Hannibal did not destroy Rome, but he transformed it. And from that wound, Rome learned never to be vulnerable again. Cannae is not just a battle, it's a human tragedy. It's the story of men who marched toward glory and found hell instead. It's proof that even the greatest can fall, but also rise again. From that cursed day, a new Rome was born, harder, colder, more relentless. And perhaps that's why, even today, the name Cannae is not just a point on the map, but a word that embodies honor, failure, and rebirth. Now, I want to know your opinion. Do you think Hannibal made a mistake by not marching on Rome? Write it in the comments. The debate over Cannae has lasted for more than 2,000 years, and it's still not over. If you enjoyed this journey through time, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because history isn't made only of dates and battles, but of people and choices. And this one, the story of Cannae, was one of the most terrible of them all.